Find functional hilarity at the Biffa Emporium. Girl, it's what I heard. Allegedly, it's just the word. Allegedly, it's on the street. Allegedly, I sing to the beat. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly. What do I see? But Carlos King has started a podcast. You see, Carlos, I think you are one of the most conniving, manipulative, and unscrupulous producers ever to grace our television screen. However, I'm going to listen to your little show because I want to find out from the horse's mouth what really happened with Phaedra Parks and who told her that lie. Why don't you do an episode on Who Said That? Because you did mysteriously disappear from Bravo, from Real Housewives, on its 8th season, when it was at its pinnacle, its height. You magically walked away, slinked over to OWN. Now, I will say you're finding renewed success with Scallop Head and the gang, but I want to know why you really left Bravo. I also find he has one of the most annoying voices in the world, so I'll be happy to listen for you so you don't have to. But he gonna have Ebony Williams on this episode, so let's see what she got to say. Oh, I'm already over it. Quiet as it's kept, the first little intro gives me a Binder Time Stories tea. Mixed with a little Bridgerton. I don't know why this woman got a British accent. I don't know why. It's not necessary. It's really not. Your shows are about Americans, bloke. They're about Americans, man. You see, that's how bad the British accent was. It was terrible. Does anybody call him the king of reality TV? Carlos King has a podcast. It's just you lie so much, I don't know what I'm believing. I feel like this is a scheme that Todd set up to bring us the bullshit. Because he keeps saying he's called the king of reality TV. I call you the king of getting kicked off Bravo. I mean, yeah, you went over to OWN and you made it, but I ain't gonna call you nobody's king. Andy would be the king. Because you see, it's Andy's franchise. Is it your franchise? No, it's not. You were just a producer on Real Housewives. Now, Love and Marriage is yours. I'm gonna give you that. You got Scallop Head. But I don't know about the king of reality. I would say a maven, a baron. I'll even give you baron. I'll give you not duke. But yeah, baron, count, viscount, something like that. But king, he said he was the magician behind those women. No, you were the manipulator. The bone carrier, the shit starter. Speaking of moments that we haven't stopped talking or tweeting about, are you going to talk about how that light fell on Elise Neal's head and how she sued you? You going to talk about how that ended Hollywood Divas? You going to have her on? We want the truth, Carlos. Now, if you're going to start a podcast as Carlos King, king of reality TV, why are you going to start it off with your first guest as Ebony Williams, somebody that the fans are really split on? Why not start with a Nene, a Bethany, a Gabrice and Gabrissy, a Candy Burris? You going to start with Ebony? Doesn't seem like a strong start to me, but okay. I hadn't even heard about it. Fortunately, Dustin Ross retweeted you, so I follow him. That's how I knew. So I will give Ebony this. Her first season, there wasn't a lot of glam. There wasn't fun. It was a harsh lockdown. And people were at their wits' end. But, Girl Housewives don't get do-overs. Ask Shamari. Ask Deshaun. Ask Carlton. So she confirms that Bravo's like, you could resubmit for the new revamp, but we looking at everybody. Ebony said there were white women that related to her more than they did the crones of the first few seasons. Ebony, I feel like they being polite telling you you can audition again. They don't want you back, girl. I want you on television. I'm going to stand by this statement. I don't think you make good reality TV, or at least this kind of reality TV. I just don't think this is for you. Oh, now Carlos, I'm gonna give you a point for this one. Call Ebony out on this supposed friendship with Leah, please and thank you. You did not have a connection with these women. However, Bravo knew that. That's why they tried to shoehorn two black women in this season. However, it didn't work. I don't think it was just Ebony and Brashawn. I think it was also just the Aki Boo cast. Sonia was the only one who actually got it. Ramona was an issue. Leanne was saying stupid shit. It was a matter of time before Leah said something dumb. I think it was also their poor reception where it's like, this isn't good television. This isn't fun to watch. This is awkward. Now, Carlos, I will disagree with you. I think that it's not necessarily about Bravo wanting to save Ramona's job with this second spinoff. I think it's they've put a whole lot of money into these heifers and they want a return on their investment. They saw the success of Girls Trip and they're like, we're always open to a second franchise. However, I do feel like a cash shake-up was going to happen in New York regardless if Ebony came on the show or not, because it's happened in Beverly Hills, it's happened in Jersey. I mean, Teresa's still hanging on to her large salary. It happened in Atlanta, so I'm not surprised. Now, this is a very interesting turn of phrase. Ebony said she was willing to go forward with the cast and negotiate what an ensemble future would look like, but they were unwilling. Are you saying the cast was unwilling or production was unwilling? Because it seemed like production wasn't really having no meetings, like after they decided not to do the reunion. It didn't seem like they were meeting with the cast. So Ebony said if people were willing to work with more people of color. So are you saying that Ramona and Luann said they wasn't going to work with black women no more? Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. If you're saying members of the cast weren't willing to work with other women outside of their whiteness, then that must mean Ramona and Luann said, no, we're not doing it. Oh, child, Carlos getting to the T. He said, were you blackballed by Leah, Ramona, and Luann? And Ebony said, yeah, they weren't willing to come to the table. Now, I thought Leah was your friend. Why wasn't she willing? What happened? Y'all was on that show just being bosom buddies, friends, confidants, pals. She said only Sonia Morgan was willing to film with her. Everybody else said no. Wow, that says it all. Carlos said he wanted to see what really went on with Ramona and Mario's divorce. Well, we really want to know what went on with your lie to Phaedra. That's what we want to know. So since we got you on the line, spill it, sis. Also, I would like to know what happened with Dorinda and John, but I think I figured it out. Cocaine, cocaine, cocaine. All right, now they're talking about the engines of the show, and they gonna say Giselle Bryant. Now, I'll give them Bethany. I'll give them Kyle Richards. But Giselle Bryant, I mean, I don't see her bringing out the best in other women, but I will say she moves shit along. Oh, God, Ebony, there's a talking atness about you, and I want to feel like I'm being talked to, not talked at. So Carlos said, when I saw you on the show, I thought, were you trying too hard to rep the sisters? Or was it production? I wonder the same thing. Good question. Well, damn, Carlos said he didn't like her on the show either. I can't believe we have the same opinion. We're like, you're much more The View than Roni. So Carlos says, I think it was production and you were never given a fair chance like they gave Garcelle a fair chance. You were just here to say, okay, we talking about BLM. To shut Black Twitter up and to quiet the think pieces. Ebony said, well, I wasn't upset with what the honkies thought, but I was upset at what the black people thought. Carlos thinks she'll be back. I hope not. I just, you know what? I'll give her a second chance, but if she ain't good, she better have on. Let her be a friend and prove herself again. So Ebony still thinks she belongs in reality TV. Carlos is trying to steer your happy butt back to the View, but you said, oh no, I want to be on reality TV. Okay, girl. Some things ain't for everybody. Girl, you feel called to reality television by the good Lord. Might have been a misdial, hun. The shade. Carlos said, I think you will be recast with some other women, and I think the show will go on Peacock. And Ebony said, yeah. Ebony says she's ready for the whimsy of being a housewife now. You ready for a free trip. That's what you ready for. And I'm sorry, you should have brought the whimsy last season. That's the thing about whimsy. You've just got to grab it whenever it shows up. And I agree with Strathman. I think both shows will start on Peacock, and then if they do well there, they'll air them on Bravo. Oh, now that Black Lives Matter isn't trending anymore, she's ready for whimsy. It seems like she may know she's coming back, or she's trying to speak into existence she's coming back. They may not completely get rid of her. They may even put her on as a friend of for this 14th season reboot. I mean, they do already have her, so why waste money? I don't know. I really hope she's able to bring the whimsy. Because that last season, I'd just go on to The View if I were you. Girl, they asked you on Watch What Happens Live a whole bunch because wasn't nobody traveling at that time and you live in the city, so you just could hop down to the clubhouse. Oh, God. Girl, okay, now here comes the delusions of grandeur. Carlos was right. They should center the show around the woman who is clearly at the center of elite media in New York. You really hanging out with Katie Couric and Gayle King like that? I ain't never seen you with them. I ain't never seen you with Michael Strahan. Ain't never seen you with Kelly and whoever. I ain't never seen you on the morning show. Like the real high-end $20 million players. Did you golfing with Al Roker? Are you? She is so full of herself, there is no room for breakfast. And with your miss of a performance last season, I don't see centering a show around you. I see you off on the edge. Maybe if you had a friend that really had, more of a reality spark. But, boo, centered around you, that's gonna take the show from boo-boo to dookie. Also, making major life decisions around baby, man, and money. The show is called Real Housewives. Can we get some married women with children housewives? Like, you know what you should bring back? You should bring back Blood, Sweat, and Heels. That's what you need to do. Do a show about the single lady. Housewives, but no, making a decision about man. What man? You done left your fiance. You got another one? If you do, I want a class from you. Carlos, I would not say that Ebony is a familiar face. She was on for one season and a lot of people didn't like her. I don't think that's who you anchor the show around. Monique had been on Potomac for several seasons and yeah, some shit went down, but I don't think it was as polarizing as Ebony. Yeah, Ebony my age. But it's like you gotta be with the man a good 3 years before you figure out if he could actually be a pappy or not. Maybe Ebony just too long-winded. Maybe that's what it is. I needed to be a little more succinct. Child, now this is famous. Dustin Ross just got a shout out on Carlos King's first episode. He is everywhere. How you doing, Dustin? Waiting for another episode of Closed Mouth Chunky Heel. Oh, Lord. Carlos wants to produce the Real Housewives of New York reboot? Not until we get some answers about Phaedra. Now, this is really interesting. You begging to get on Bravo after you ain't mentioned their name in years and said, I was happy to go. I needed to go. Own. All right, well, that was the shit. Ebony hired a matchmaker, so she's got a plot line, and Carlos wants to produce it. Well, I guess I'll have to listen to that next week. At least it'll be better than Gabrice and Gabrisi's attack on black men. With beards, because, this must smell like fried chicken. Pepperidge Farm remembers heifers.
Alleged what? Alleged who? Allegedly. Don't blame, don't sue. Allegedly.